So there are ways, not just for players in this game to earn without having those time constraints. It just depends on how much of a pivotal player you want to be within that economic model, right? Just like a real business. If you are the CEO, you either do a lot of work or you do no work. It depends on what company it is.
Yeah, I think that one of the coolest things about this game, just like you touched on, is the fact that there is a continuum of participation, right? And there's cost benefit. You have to weigh in capital return. So if you do want to be the head of a family and you want to be successful at that, obviously it's going to require some work, and it's going to require some time and organization, a lot of conversations and that kind of thing. But as KvltDeFi touched on, there are so many ways to participate, and ways that through automation, through bots and that kind of thing, that's another way. So if you're, for instance, running a smuggling route, I wish I could kind of participate in the game this way. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but just because of my position. But if you're running a smuggling route and you're doing kind of a triangle between maybe Palermo and New Jersey and Caracas, for instance, right? And you're trading between those, and that's all you're doing, and you're having your helper bots run that for you. One thing, and we don't know what those mechanics are going to look like right away, but if you continually do that circle, what's going to happen? You're going to build up cash and build up cash and build up cash, right? But the other thing that you might be able to do to help mitigate getting murdered is that throughout that triangle, you might be able to deposit within a bank throughout that circle, right? So you're de-risking by adding that one additional action in the game, right? So there are a lot of ways that you can protect yourself from getting robbed just by minimizing what you have on you, right? That's one way potentially. Others are obviously pushing off resources onto other profiles, and there's any number of ways that you can do that. The concern about getting murdered and having all of your stuff taken is real, but I don't think it's there's a lot of ways to mitigate that to the point where it's still a concern. It will be a concern, I think, but maybe not as big as what people might imagine right now.
I think also to have that as a correlated talking point, the ability to be killed is also just like the ability to get a traffic ticket in real life or all the rest of that. It can be a punishment mechanic, and it can be something to keep people in line for the betterment of the game, because all-out war also requires the spending of bullets, which also creates a deflationary mechanism on the actual asset itself, which creates a hierarchy on the cost of that mechanic as well. So actually doing those kind of things costs more to the game in-game currency and the game ecology than you may get benefit out of that situation and the retaliatory function of that. Like that particular cost of bullets may send health through the roof. Mm-hmm. And then that is now the most important ecology or economic value in the game if there's not that output of that resource that is needed, right? You know, it's just like coal into diamonds. Takes time to mature, and that manipulation from De Beers is a very interesting view frustrum on how you can create the economic landslide or mass out of a particular situation, good or bad. And I don't see the PvP aspect of it is, I think, going to be more on rank and your ability to trade and your ability to earn. And like Archie was saying with that smuggler's triangle, that could give you honor, notoriety, could give you prestige with witnesses within that region. Like what if you're a Robin Hood and you're bringing economic energy to an impoverished city? Well, those witnesses probably aren't going to rat you out. Maybe you can buy them off. Maybe you can, have an embargo on a particular city due to your economic weight of just doing arbitrage in between those assets. And so it's vastly interesting to see how this is going to play out from many different aspects, or more or less evolve, right? Because this is what it is. So the game is basically interactive staking, right? Across the board, not just staking just the mafia, staking your time, using that economic energy and building that into an experience that, just with anything, the more you put in, the more you're going to get out but it doesn't necessarily limit you on anyone that you run into in the street is automatically going to murder, death, kill you.
Yeah, and one thing, just real quick, you touched on potentially the price of health going through the roof, right? One of the things that I had been thinking about recently was, how does health actually enter the game? And one potential way is blood donating, right? So if you're one of the rare blood types, maybe you can make money just by donating blood when your cooldown is up, right? And have helper bots automate that. That would be another really simple way to earn in-game cash that you can convert into real world money. And so when you think about something as specific as that, and some of the other things that we've talked about, there are so many ways that this game could go that would benefit really anybody of any level of commitment that they're willing to make, and any capital investment that they're willing to make, from $0 to $1 million, right?